in just a moment. Ciao.
I'm gonna jump into a tab and start retweeting and whatnot.
Yep, that's what I'm doing right now too. Oh, looks like
All right.
we're live.
We are live. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Greetings from Jamaica.
What's up?
What's up? It's Piso Earth Tone, the Earth Tone King down here in Jamaica. Greetings to the people, them. Nah, for real. What's up, 3 beats later, people? I am in Jamaica.
You need to stay. I think you need to stay in that voice.
I'm gonna get a shirt.
You
with
want
this
me
face.
stay?
No, I don't want you to stay, man. No, man.
Nah.
You sound like Malik Yoba on Cool Runnings, bro. Like,
All right, that was my best. That was my
Sanka,
best.
you're dead.
At Pot 12, but
Wow.
right now,
Alex, where
the
are you
3BL show is I'm in Port Antonio, Jamaica, which is on the east side of the island, in the middle of the jungle. You might even be able to hear the crickets right now. But
Wait, you can't say the jungle and then say the crickets, bro. You gotta be like, yo, it's lions back here. You can't say crickets in the jungle, man. That's what you got.
The lions.
I don't think there's any lions in
The lions of Jamaica.
You gotta make the experience for the viewer, man. It's lions wherever you say there's lions.
Listen, man, he in the bush.
Yeah, so
I'm in the jungle. It's dangerous out here. You hear them crickets?
the crickets might bite you, but you know. Yeah, man. No, I'm having a good time. I was just telling the fellas here how nice the people have been down here, how amazing the food has been, amongst some other things. You know, took a swim through a waterfall today.
No,
Reach Falls.
you jumped off a cliff though.
Yeah, I did jump off a cliff.
You can't leave
Off
that
a
out.
We didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
You can't leave that out.
Yeah,
Bro.
I didn't. Yeah, I jumped off a cliff into a waterfall. No, off a waterfall cliff
man.
into a nice lake. Went into an
was
underwater
about
cave.
to dive in.
How was that?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
That was just. It was
You went into
amazingly
a cave.
an underwater cave.
Wait, you dive off the falls into
Yeah.
a lake, into a cave. That's some Will Smith shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was incredible, man. When I
Jumanji.
was telling them, you know, we had
I'm
a
gonna need
four
video.
of us had a birthday, and we were in this villa overlooking the mountain, and just the food was amazing, the atmosphere, the people, everything's just been really incredible. So I'm truly blessed to be down here having a great birthday.
Yeah, man.
Birthday
Happy
vacation
birthday.
time.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Sounds like
Appreciate that, y'all.
Sounds like they got really good internet in that jungle too. So
The crickets
Oh, wow.
help with the reception.
I'm coming true clear.
The
yes.
crickets help with the reception. The antennas on the crickets help with the reception.
Cheers to that. Happy birthday, Alex.
Thank you, y'all.
Birthday,
Cheers.
Alex. Cheers.
So what do we got tonight?
Without further ado,
guys?
we got a show, don't we?
We got a big show tonight. We have a great guest.
Yes.
We have an amazing talent on tonight. Mark Clive Lowe will be joining us in just a moment, who is an amazing artist and producer. And we're going to get a chance to actually talk to him about some of the music that he's been producing and current projects that he's working on. And in typical 3 Beats Later fashion, you know, for all the new viewers, when you watch our show, you're going to get an interview. You're going to get some original music too. So we took some of Mark's stems that he provided to us, and each one of the producers on the show, we flipped it in our own special and fun way. And even P, did you flip something in Jamaica? Did you have enough time to do that?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. Been moving around too much.
That's all good.
I wanted to, though. Came close.
That's
Yeah,
all
it was
good.
either that or jump
definitely
off
here
a
to
waterfall
listen.
into a lake cave.
He was spending too much time jumping off of cliffs. So it's all good. So you're going to get at least 4 pieces of music to listen to tonight. So yeah. So what else is going on, everybody? We're waiting for Mark to show up. And any news? What's going on?
I got a special guest on my song.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. You know.
Uh-oh.
You know.
You know what?
Oh.
I think he's been hitting his stride lately, man. I think
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. Tonight's an interesting situation.
Okay.
I'll put it like that. But I got a special guest on my song.
Mm.
And y'all all know this person. They're like YouTube famous too. So
Oh wait, is this an authorized guest appearance or what's going
no,
on?
this is official. This is a legit person.
This is an alter ego appearance, is my guess. No?
No.
Oh,
Hold on a
okay.
second, guys.
All right. Q's getting.
This is the part of the show where some random person calls us.
Let's take this moment today, right now, just to let everybody know, if you're new to watching 3 Beats Later on YouTube, do us a favor, something that is absolutely free. Just click the sub button, click the like button,
I'll do that
and
all right.
and that will help us out a lot. You know, we are growing. We're building a community of beat makers and producers and folks that like to listen to original music. So do what you do. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you know any producers, definitely, you know, let them know to watch 3 Beats Later. All right. And it looks like Q got the call from Mark, so he's probably on his way. And here he comes right now. So we will admit Mark. Let's let his audio connect too. So
look at that room. Look at that amazing room setup.
What's up? What's up?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Incredible.
Good, brother.
In a reverb, guys.
Yeah, there's a little bit of delay or echo.
Somebody's gonna have you mute somewhere.
No, that's me. How about now?
Check.
Ooh.
That's still got it on.
Am I good?
You're good.
All right, cool.
Are we good?
Do you have it playing anything else on YouTube or?
No. I'm straight.
No, it's off.
I mean, if I mute myself and see if it's still echoing.
Okay, let's check.
This happened last time, remember?
Yeah.
We needed him to log out and log back in.
So when Mark mutes, I don't hear any echo. So Mark, if
Neither do I.
Let's just check.
So it's me.
Let me see. Hello? Yep.
What? I'm making you echo?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's what's happening. Well, you know, we fixed this last time. If you jump out and jump back in, then it might fix it. That's what happened last week. I don't know why, but
you know what? It's not even going to be that. Give me 1 second. Let me just try this. How about now?
hello, check one.
Check.
Yeah.
We
did
did?
Good.
Yeah.
All right, you know.
Ah.
A little tech support when you need it, you know.
I was gonna be. It's a little difficult to have an interview on mute, so I was hoping that we could hear you.
Mark, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you all?
Good, very good.
Good, man.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Thank you for having me along.
Yeah, man. I think I can say we're all excited to have you here. You know, we've been digging through the files. We got a lot of questions for you, but welcome to the show, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. No, it's a real pleasure to be here.
Thank you, man.
So, Mark, we have a couple of things planned today, and I know that we have you for about an hour or a little less than that. So we're going to try to be mindful of your time. But we kind of do a couple of things each week in our show. We basically invite artists and we invite producers onto the show. Sometimes when we don't have a guest on, we just choose an artist that we really like, and we take a look at some of their discography, and we take their music, and it kind of inspires us to create some original music. So some of the music that we create is sample based, definitely in the realm of hip hop. So you will get a chance to listen to some music from some producers today who were inspired by music that you've created throughout the years. So a couple of things. Number one is thank you for providing stems, because we've been bringing on producers who have been providing stems, which is amazing. And personally, I feel like I have learned a lot just by listening to that track that you've provided to us. I think there was at least like 15 or 16 tracks. And just by listening to each one soloed out, I felt like I was growing as a producer.
Oh, wow, that's cool. That's cool.
But you'll definitely hear some of the creations that we put together for you. But before we do that, we just wanted to learn a little bit about, obviously your bio, your background, and then also some of the projects that you're working on right now. So I'm going to kick it over to Q, and he has a whole laundry list of questions for you.
Here we go.
Yeah, man. Trying to make sure we run through all of the topics here, because my brother, you are a very prolific, creative person, to say the least.
I love what I do. I'm blessed to be able to do it. So
it shows. I was gonna say, well, I just start off with how I personally discovered your music. I don't even know if you remember that long back in the days, but so if guys here know, I used to be pretty active in blogging, and I had a few websites that I wrote for, Blog Critics being one of them, and I somehow got a hold of the Politic album.
Okay.
Let's talk about that project for just a second, because I'm the guy that's the urban, a sign writer, and honestly, at the time, I just looked at blogs as a way to kind of stay relevant, get all the passes to all the events, get all the new music free as a DJ. You know what I mean? So they would send me stuff, and I am still in awe of that album. So let's just start there. How about that?
Starting right in the middle. I love it.
yeah. It's going to be a non-linear, little interview.
I'm here for that, man. So the Politic is a collaborative project between myself and singer-songwriter Bembe Segwe. She's a London head, and she and I were highly collaborative in the West London broken beat community, which is where I really had my formative years as a producer.
Right.
So we collaborated on, I had an album called Tides Are Rising on ABB, and that was very much in the kind of soulful broken beat kind of vein. Broken beat being a dance floor genre that's kind of rhythmically not that self-referential, in that there's a lot of, it's not a certain pattern which makes it.
Right.
A lot of it's around house tempo and a lot of syncopated rhythm, drawing from soca and Afrobeat and funk and fusion, and so that was kind of our world. At the same time, I grew up as a piano player, but musically, like from early high school, for me, it was like the first Guy record, Native Tongues hip hop, 89, 99, 91. That was my like, oh my God, what is this music that my parents never had in the house? Bomb Squad to Teddy Riley, the whole way. So that was always part of my upbringing. And so at this point we're talking about with the Politic, I think we recorded that in 2007.
Something like that.
That was, I was really entrenched in this kind of basically electronic jazz dance scene, the broken beat scene in the UK. But I have this massive love for this music. And at the same time, we had Dilla doing everything Dilla was doing, and then some. We had Dwele demos coming through on the regular. We had Sarah demos coming through on the.
You're talking about the days with ABB, right?
ABB, exactly. But
ABB, right.
Before Sarah did the ABB release, I mean, there were demos flying Trans-Tasman, and we'd be hearing all this music, and Dilla mostly, obviously. But hearing the Fat Cat stuff when it was when it was still on tape and shit like that, just it was. And my whole crew, we all have this love for music in general. It's not a genre-ist thing or a BPM thing. It's I love Duke Ellington and Thelonious Monk as much as I love Dilla and Carl Craig. It's
right. Damn, Carl Craig reference. I like that. See, but that's what I noticed early on from your work. I mean, it's very evident in the Politic. I mean, at the time, I just recently relocated to LA, to the West Coast.
Welcome.
And soon as I touched, that was a while ago, but yeah. But as soon as I touched down out here, I slowly started getting back into the promoting and all of that. And, Blue, of course, is the man out here in LA. Come on. Let's talk about that record in particular.
Getting Blue on the record, that was special for us because when I started coming to the States to tour, it was promoting, supporting my album Tides Are Rising, which Bembe features on. So Bembe would come over with me, and I was basically doing DJ sets with her, kind of freestyling the mic for most shows. I think we did a few live shows too, but we're just out here meeting, meeting people. And our first stop was LA. And I don't know how the connect happened, but there's a cat named Angelo Mendez. And Angelo was an intern at the time for a label called Sound and Color. And so Angelo was like, "Oh, you guys can come and stay at the Sound and Color house." We don't know what that is. And so he takes us to Long Beach, and we gave us a little room to bunk up in. And then, like, Blue's walking around, like, and Miguel's there chilling, and they're making their demos and their records. And this is like, what's that joint Miguel did? Like, is it Strawberry Alarm Clock or something? Or like a real vibe? It was that period, right? So, and so we met all this crew at the same time, and then Diego, who ran the label, and that was our welcome to LA. And they took me to Crane's Tavern to the Do-Over, and it's like J-Rock and Mad Lib spinning and Doom.
That's crazy that you even have that experience from a hip hop perspective as an LA transplant. Like, you landed in perfect hands.
Right. So when we made that record, like, we wanted to include, having Blue, for Bembe and I both, we were like, this cat is the next voice. He's like, we're waiting for another Q-Tip or the next voice. Like, this is that cat. So to get him on the record was really important for us, and also really solidified that connection to LA.
And that vibe of what you were saying earlier about there's no genre, you can, and Blue is an excellent artist to do that. Bahamadia as well. Like I said, I talk about that album forever. You got a lot more projects in the Politic album. I'm gonna keep it pushing. But I will say that I did see you perform out in Los Angeles a couple of times.
Okay.
I saw your shows when you had residency at the Blue Whale.
Okay, cool.
One of those. And I really saw you at La Paloma. Do you remember that gig? Is it La? Am I saying that name?
The market?
The market. Yes, sir.
Wow, that was a fun one. Yeah.
Do you remember anything about that? Describe that to these people, because that's where I became a believer.
I have a little scattered memories of that gig particularly, but I remember it was like a Latin food and goods market downtown.
Yes.
Super community vibes, and they want to do this event. So my boy Damon, who was there, called me in to do a show there. And I was doing at the time my club night called Church. And
yes,
so I was predicated on Church, where the whole point was, I grew up, like, as I said, playing piano. So I love jazz music. I was aspiring as a young, straight ahead jazz piano player. I wanted to play with Art Blakey and Betty Carter and shit like that, and live in New York and be poor and whatever else. But then I love that, right? And then at the same time, I was, hearing Primo and the Bomb Squad and Pete Rock and the Umar, being like, what? And, not having my head blown off in two directions at once, not knowing that there was a direct correlation between them, right? It was like, I play the piano and I listen to this beats music, and I even had a drum machine and some keyboards, but as a teenager, I didn't know that they're the same thing.
Right.
And so then to do Church was like, I wanted to share the whole story of my life in one night of music. So I wanted to be the jazz club. I wanted to be the boom bap. I wanted to be the soulful house dance floor. I wanted to be heavy on improvisation. I wanted to be, community getting together, uplifting in spirit, and celebrating music. And that's what that night was. And I'm so glad that you got to witness it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember walking in. I went there with my baby, Crystal Blue. You know what I mean? That's a very special place to us. Anyway, so then we go to this event, and I see this man on this stage in the middle of this nonprofit market. That's an LA spot. Like, you have to be an LA person to know to even go over there and what that place means for the community, right? And there you are with this white grand piano and all these gadgets like you have in your room right now, and just going. And I think I stood stuck looking at you for like 15, 20 minutes, just trying to comprehend what I'm seeing and hearing. Like, this is crazy. Meanwhile, I knew very well who you were, but I think that was the first time I got the visual of it. I mean, we're still in the internet age, but I don't really recall too many, I didn't go to too many Boiler Room sets. I know you've been at
Right.
No, I mean,
and
see you live is a whole nother experience.
The workflow is, I think it's unique. I came up with the MPC and I just started on gigs. I had prepared beats sometimes, and then I ran out of beats one night for a gig, and they wanted us to play more. And so I was in Budapest, and the promoter's like, "No, you got to play." And I'm like pretending I'm drunk or I'm tired or whatever. I'm like, "No," and then eventually I was like, "Whatever." So I walk on stage, and I'm eyeballing my MPC 3000, and I'm thinking, I have to fucking go over there and make a beat live right now on stage to this crowd who had a great night. And so I put it in record, and it's like click, 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 and then I started programming some beat, and it didn't quite come out how I wanted it to. So then I'm using bass lines and keyboard parts to make sense of it. And in that moment, I had this kind of, come to Jesus thing where it's like, oh shit, this is a spontaneity of jazz music that I've always loved, but I have the sonics of beats and the club, and I can just live the moment. And so from that point on, I never prepared a beat on a gig ever again. So
it's interesting.
You press play on the MPC, nothing happens. Now it's on Ableton, you press play, it's empty. So I'll be live programming, and what you saw with the band, I've got it set up so I can live sample the vocalist or the horn player or the drummer and match those into what I'm doing. And so it's kind of fun. It's like,
that's crazy. So let me get this. If I'm hearing you correctly, you're telling me that you basically started your production style that you kind of are known for now, with the kind of the live inspiration, almost out of a panic mode at one of your gigs because you're out of stuff to play.
Totally. There's no more music. I was like, what the fuck? We have to. But
you heard that first here on 3B. I don't know if you told that story before to anybody,
that's
but
crazy.
Wow,
crazy.
The joke was on because I was using the 3000 then, and after every gig I'd save the beats. So then after like a year, I've got thousands of beats. Like, it was dumb. And so then I got to the point, I was like, why am I even saving this shit? I don't like. If I need it, I'll just make a beat. Like, it's like, what? So from then on, nothing got saved. And some people get pissed at me. They're like, you don't save the gig. It's like, yeah. It was a moment. It's like an organic NFT.
I can respect that. I can totally respect that.
That is crazy.
That's dope.
That is crazy. Usually, some days when I don't have a beat ready for this show, I try to act like I'm drunk also, but nothing crazy happens.
He'll act like he didn't save his beat.
Yeah, be like, oh, I didn't save it. I'm gonna make it right now, and then I don't do that. So,
which also means if somebody has a recording of one of your gigs that you didn't save,
that's the record.
That's also one right there.
It could be a potential possible future NFT. And I'm going to stop there because I got a million questions. I want to get into a lot of things. I want to talk about Motherland, but I think we should probably get into some music real quick.
Yeah, let me. I got two things too before we, because Mark, we are looking for someone to teach us about NFTs, and I think that if you have 5 minutes today, also we might ask you to tell us what you've learned so far, since we are in the early days, I'd say. But really quick too, could you? Because I kind of grew up and had this. Immersion in jazz music as well. I'm an electric guitar player. I kind of started off, I wanted to be Joe Pass. I wanted to be Mike Stern. You know what I mean? Like, that was my background. You know what I mean? And then I experienced like this hip hop event in my life where I was producing and stuff like that. So I could kind of feel where you're coming from. But can you tell us just a little bit really quick about like your beginnings in terms of like, learning, to play the piano and who your inspirations were. And then just kind of take us through like kind of like a quick bio of where we are now with your current projects.
Totally. Let's do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, let's do it.
Not quite, but so I grew up in New Zealand. Like, I'm a Japanese New Zealander, grew up very bilingually in the home environment. But one thing was my dad, he resented that he was never allowed to take music lessons. So he was like, if I ever have kids, they'll bloody well learn musical instruments. And so my brothers and I all had to learn instruments. So from age 4, I was on the piano. And that was what I always regretted in a way, not choosing my instrument. Like, so many people are like, yeah, I went to this gig and I just listened to the bass and saw the bass player. I was like, I want to play bass. That's a very common thing. But for me, I didn't have that choice. So that's been an interesting kind of life journey. But I grew up playing classical, fell in love with jazz through my dad's record collection, and my big brother played jazz piano. And then in high school, like I said, I kind of stumbled across the drum machine, so to speak, by way of Teddy Riley and the Bomb Squad and Brand Nubian and shit like that. And I briefly produced for we had a couple local bands trying to make like our version of Belle Boop DeVoe or something. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I was, and so one day I wake up and I'm like, man, fuck all these loops, and I want to play the piano again, kind of focus on it. So I sold my drum machine, all this vinyl. To this day, I haven't seen the same releases. And it was just the piano, like a Miles record, a Coltrane record, and a Branford Marsalis record. Mo Better Blues was a massive turning point for me.
Oh,
like that movie,
yeah, that movie's great.
The music, just I hadn't heard contemporary acoustic jazz before. Like I was hearing, what that references in the 60s is what I was hearing, like Miles and Coltrane and stuff. So that blew me away and really sent me into it. So I ended up via finishing high school in Japan, when I spent more time in jazz clubs than in high school. I kind of fell in love with all that and ended up going to the Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Hey, me too. All right. Shout out.
I dropped out after one semester.
Hey, I did 2 semesters. All right.
Hey, I can relate. So the kind of systematic pedagogy of it was not inspiring me. And I wish it had, but it didn't. And so I split. And I ended up spending more time in New Zealand. And that was an interesting time because New Zealand's so far away from the rest of the world, right? And pre-internet, we're talking about what's at the record store on Friday. That's the connection. Or if it's commercial music, it's like, what's Rick Dees playing this weekend? Those are the reference points. So we kind of got a very specific filtration of UK early jungle and drum and bass. And then from the States, it was stuff like New Eureka Soul, Masters at Work, Groove Collective, of course, Badu. So that was the musical melting pot of contemporary music. And so for me, it was inevitable to end up going overseas again because, Boston didn't work, but I was like, what else? So I wanted to go to the UK because my then girlfriend had moved to the UK. So I was like, I'm going to the UK. But on the way, I went around all these places for a year. I got a fellowship to travel for a year and chase music. So I was in Cuba, New York, London, Paris, Tokyo, San Fran, just all over the place. And through that experience, I met this amazing crew in London, the Broken Beat crew. Also connected with people in New York, like Joe Clausel and Francois Kay, and like just had this amazing year of traveling the world and connecting with community who inspired me, who I could also contribute to through my playing as a keyboard player. And so I ended up in London, pretty much moving there. I was there for a decade, and I started as a session keyboard player for a lot of the West London crew. People like Phil Asher passed away earlier this year. Amazing.
Yes, rest in peace, Phil Asher.
Phil was my mentor, took me under his wing and really brought me in, introduced me to IG Culture and Bugs in the Attic and 4Hero. And these are the most, and people think Timbaland's progressive. These are the most progressive beat makers on.
I think that might actually be where I first really heard of you. It might have been a 4Hero remix. As soon as you said it, I'm like, I think that's what it.
So the second track I did collaborating was playing keys on a Restless Soul Phil Asher remix of 4Hero. So it might have been around that kind of time or something. Yeah. Wow. But through that, I saw all these guys using SPs and MPs. And I remember being 13 with a Yamaha drum machine and not getting it. But now I was getting it because I was like now 22 or something, understanding what was happening. And so I bought an MPC and that was it. It was game over for me. Right. It was like, now I can bring these worlds together. These things like these. Whenever I hear any music, like a confined genre, like when I first heard drum and bass, I heard everything that I felt was missing, like that I could add in. It was like a picture frame that I felt like I could paint in. And same with house music. And that's not a disparagement to the genres. It's just how my imagination works, and hip hop too. So to be able to draw from these different things as a palette and really kind of understand. For me, so I'm being kind of long-winded, but at the core of it, and something I've realized as I reached middle age, I appreciate that going right back to being a Japanese New Zealander and living in different parts of the world and never really culturally identifying with any one place, that my music journey is a metaphorical expression of my own journey for seeking belonging and identity and finding those expressions. And so for me in hip hop and in house music and in jungle, there were sociocultural things that I really related to as an other, basically. So that's the kind of the deeper layer of it.
No, so many gems. Let me tell you, my head is spinning right now. As soon as you said drum and bass, I kind of hear the references, especially in some, like I said, some of the politics, some of the earlier stuff, but yeah.
So can you quickly let us know about some of the projects that that you are working on right now or that you've recently released? I took a deep dive into a lot of your music and became an instant fan. And so first I need to thank you for introducing you to me. And also I have to thank you for making all this incredible music. So if you could just let us know a little bit about, the most recent album of Midnight Snacks Volume 1, but I was really, really digging on this album right here. So I'm all up on your site right now.
Yeah,
take the wheel, Chicky.
Dream Weavers was the first trio record I did since 1997, and that trio record only came out in New Zealand. Like I won't let that out anywhere else. But that record is also the first album I didn't produce myself. The drummer and bass player, Italian friends of mine, we've been playing quite a lot. They're like, man, we want to basically kidnap you. Like you'll come, you'll do as you're told. You can't bring any of the.
Hey, E, does that sound familiar? E?
That sounds just like P. Every time I go to New York, so I can relate. Hostage situations.
Sometimes you got to kidnap somebody.
So I've learned, but I learned it by being the victim, right? Stockholm syndrome. So I fell in love with them. It's all good. But they were saying, we don't bring any technology, like no beats, no loops, no sampling. Just let's do a trio record. Just bring the music.
Wow. And
so I was in Japan right before we did the record, and I was writing sketches, and we went over and did this record. And it really, there's something beautiful about this kind of thing for me where it captures a moment in time, right? Like, I'm thankful to be as prolific as I am because I have these records of time, which records of music too, but they're records, they're diaries of those moments.
Right.
And so it's cool.
Yeah, man. And it's like this one track, in answer to your question.
Oh yeah.
That was amazing. That song kind of gave me chills. It had like almost like a Sam Yahel vibe to it. It was right. It was pretty nice, tasty stuff. So tell us about Midnight Snacks Volume 1.
So Midnight Snacks Volume 2 is coming out in October, but basically these are productions which come from my Patreon. So on my Patreon, every month I give away an exclusive new track that I make that month. And so these are a selection from some of those. And so that's kind of the plan with Midnight Snacks as a series. It's only on vinyl, Bandcamp, and TrackSource. Like it's not on DSPs. I've been thinking about putting it on Spotify and that, but fuck Spotify,
Yeah,
that's interesting. We've had this conversation.
Right. We said it. That's right. I
don't mean to interject, but I feel like I just gotta piggyback off of that. Just
come with
we
it.
Definitely had a long conversation about Spotify, and I don't want to go too crazy. I can't be on my cue. Can't be like Q. Just spark off.
Well,
but
Spotify is a trigger word in this realm.
Yeah, it is a trigger word because I'm just noticing it seems like you've been able to build a good community, or I guess a good following with all the touring you've done, all the different people you've been able to collaborate with. So when it comes to monetizing your music, I do think it's interesting that you're just focusing on physical media and Bandcamp, which I just feel like most independent artists should just do that. If you want to put something on Spotify eventually, sure, but like,
I'd say screw Spotify. Even
every time I hear negative stuff about just artists, I don't know, getting getting their streams taken away from them because they'll just like
Right.
completely designate you as like, you know, getting bot streams. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. I personally still rock with Napster, so you're hearing that old head over here. But
No, I was gonna say not to talk too bad about Spotify, but at the same time, I'm still on the platform. But I
Right.
totally hear what you're saying, Mark, and especially when you have as much material as you do, I think you would kind of be doing yourself a disservice to have it all on Spotify. Like,
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I think, and it kind of, you know, touches into the NFT thing a little bit. You know, not having it on Spotify is scarcity, and scarcity is not necessarily a bad thing. Like,
right.
any independent artist who's not who thinks their shit is ready, who's not on Bandcamp, is an idiot as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like this is, as far as making use of the systems we're offered right now.
mm-hmm.
But you know, it's crazy. Bandcamp is, you know, to us, it seems like it's something that's very like no brainer and very commonplace. But I was telling the guys that, you know, I had a conversation with one of the executives at Spotify, and they had never heard of Bandcamp. So you know,
I don't believe that for a second.
I don't believe that either. No,
still amazing, dude.
I can believe that. And I can believe that.
I'm telling you, when I say this guy was like, he was in charge of like you know, Taylor Swift's royalties, for instance.
Yeah, I could.
And it would just so happen by chance that I had dinner with him, and when I mentioned Bandcamp, he kept looking at me with like this look that he didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah,
and
that's
about
because
the
they
third
haven't
or
heard of
fourth
it
time
since
I
they tried to buy
mentioned
him.
Right. And I know exactly. These guys made a joke that Spotify is now going to try to purchase Bandcamp after that dinner. But yeah, like after the third or fourth time I mentioned it, he was like, what are you talking about this Bandcamp? And I just I'm like, wait, are you surely you've heard of it? And then we had to pull it up, and he's like, oh, interesting. So yes.
Oh, interesting.
The idea that there's other music industries. I think there's multiple music industries. It's the kind of way I look at it. And we're so obsessed with this mainstream streaming stuff. We don't think about these independent channels or the things that Twitch can do, or all the music production for television and video games. I feel like, you know, musicians such as yourself are able to tap into these ultimate you know, ways of income, and I'm very happy to see that. All right, I'm muting my mic. Go ahead.
I mean, you almost got me started, but I'll refrain.
I will say something, Mark.
Wait. You know Daniel Ek, who runs Spotify, was one of the originators of fucking Napster in the very first.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a thief to start with. Like,
yeah.
all I'm saying.
Makes sense. That adds up.
Mark, I have a quick question for you before we jump into the different segment. Do you feel like building your own following first is one of the reasons you're able to survive so well in other platforms aside from, you know, the main ones, like having all your information on Bandcamp, but also doing such great live shows and building that audience? Do you think that's one of the biggest components of how you're able to distribute music differently?
Yeah, I think if we're talking about the idea of sales and taking the art out of it completely, then we're talking about what's your value proposition. And so to be different, I think, is a value proposition. And I've been touring for 20 years. I pretty much never stopped touring. I have, you know, two marriages behind me because I never stopped touring, kind of thing. But that's been an interesting thing with this period is now I'm like, I don't want to tour. Like, I just want to go out when it's the right thing, but I'm not going to do that hamster wheel thing again. But to answer your question, you know, it's been incessant, and I love it. I've loved that the whole time, and I think it's a big part of it. Excuse me. I also, to be completely transparent, I would give some credit to the fact that my first album outside of New Zealand came out on Universal.
Right.
It was the year it was 2000, so digital hadn't happened yet. Compilations were strong. Universal UK had it. 13 or 14 other local territories, Universal released it locally. And so I was very lucky to have that. And so I feel like it's that album there, 6 Degrees on the left. I really feel like that helped me really establish myself, you know, and that started me touring internationally, and it was before digital. So I came into digital with some reputation, I guess. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I don't know how much that counts if you're going to cut it into a percentage pie, but I think that's a factor.
Yeah.
Like starting now, like that's challenging.
Yeah. I think
Ambush
that's
question.
pretty dope, man.
Sorry, E, I didn't mean to interject.
Cool.
Amber, I just want a quick Ambush question. Who does your artwork and how did you come up with that color palette? It was like, I'm very much into color palettes because I mess around with comics and graphic novels. And if you scroll up Cheeky, your whole like kind of like dusty sci-fi, like faded, blues and, almost desert.
All of the
Dune,
church,
Dune tones.
all of the church. He has a running theme on church, if you notice.
Yeah.
60s sci-fi.
So
it's dope.
These are different artists, and I've been very lucky to work with some really dope artists. But the church ones, not including this. So that one is by a guy named Solar. He's a UK-based collage artist, and he and actually the one row down to the left, Leaving This Planet, is also by him. So not that one, but the kind of spaceship one there.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So he does hand collage, right? And so he'll send me a folder every now and then, be like, hey, if you need anything, kind of thing. But the other one for church sessions, he actually posted that on his Instagram. I was like, bro, can you take that down immediately? Like, I want to use that one. But then the kind of illustration ones there, that one and the one over from it, Church and Live at the Blue Whale, that's an artist named Roland LeFox, and he did all my party flyers for the church party. And
what's up with all the cool last names? Roland LeFox and Mark de Clive Lowe. These are fake names, right?
He said these are fake names.
These are fake names.
These are nom de plus.
These are all like these names do sound like super amazing, right? We should really step our name game up.
We do.
I gotta say, if you guys do yourself a favor and listen to that project right there as well. Right?
Yeah, that's dope.
That was really.
Who did your logo? Some guy named Bond, James Bond.
James Bond.
Well, hey guys, I got to cut us all short because we have Mark for a limited time. So what that means is we're going to go to the next segment. And the next segment, we're going to listen to some music that we put together where we were sampling from Mark. And Mark actually was nice enough to give us stems of this track right here, which is on Midnight Snacks Volume 1, and it is called 37,000 Feet. And it is a jam. So if you haven't listened to this, you know where to find it right here, markdeclivelow.bandcamp.com. And it is the third track right here. So check it out. You're going to hear snippets and little flavors from that track when we listen to the music right now. What we do on our show every week is we are all afraid to go first. At least I'll say that out loud. And we spin a wheel. And
keep it democratic.
We always give a shout out to our non-sponsor sponsor here.
5-Star Bank.
I don't even know what that is. 5-Star Bank. All right.
How do you new neighbor?
We're gonna do a dummy spin. So
much better than 4-star.
This one does not work. That means Q is not going, but this person is. Here we go. This is official.
Q.
And it is E. Oh. All right. So we're gonna pass the mic to E. E is gonna show us how he flipped some of the stems from 37,000 feet.
Yes, right. I'm gonna show you.
All right. So when
the rest of us are gonna mute up.
We'll let him play his track, and then he's gonna give us like a 2-second breakdown of what he did with some of the stems, and then we'll keep it open to everybody. So we'll do that rotation 4 times.
Yes, I will do that. So this track is featuring a special guest, and I want you guys to tell me if you can see who it is. Mark, you might not know unless you're an avid fan of what we do, but let's see. Let's see here. Let me share my audio so you can hear it.
That's important.
Very important.
Very important.
You want to make a beat with me?
I've been asking you for the longest. You say yeah.
Ma, I thought you was playing.
I wasn't playing.
You really want to make a beat with me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Speeding.
Oh, you got me speeding to you.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it there for the sake of time. I know we only got you to the 11 mark, and I'm assuming this is one of the shorter beats you're gonna hear tonight. So I'm gonna just see if you can hear what I sampled. I sampled two specific parts of the 37,000 feet. I want to see if you can hear the two things that I took.
Right, that was dope. I enjoyed it. So
Thank you.
I heard the piano and one of the synths, the mono synth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll solo those two pieces and just play. I was amazed by how this track was just so dope, man. Like the track itself was dope. I mean, your song was dope, not this track. Your song was dope, and I'm just like, man. I normally come up with these great ideas for these verses, and I'm just like, I want to hear the piano. I just want to hear the piano play over the beat. So, but this is what I sampled on the track. So this is. So I just did that, and I manipulated them with the keys, and I always try to find like really cool, jazz sampled hip hop, and it's interesting to hear you talk about it earlier because now it kind of fits in the vein of that, and sampling jazz to make hip hop tracks like that to me was like that's where it all came from, and I think that's super cool to have that incorporated here and hear the story of how you kind of got into this thing. So I'm glad you lended that to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed the beat, and it was cool. It's cool to hear someone do a chop where it makes musical sense as well. Like often, sometimes I hear some stuff. I'm like, but it's in the wrong key. Like, why did you do that? And yeah, so I enjoy. So it's like, oh, cool. It works. It's different, and I wouldn't have expected it, and it's something I wouldn't imagine. So it's super dope to hear in that context.
And E, what are you singing there? What are those lyrics?
I'm just saying speeding to you. Like speeding to you. That's it.
Nice. Wait, let's talk about my dude.
Shout out mom.
Okay. What was her part in this song?
That was my mom at the beginning of the song. That's all she did because
she did.
My mom is our manager.
Right.
Mom,
I need a drop.
She's not, but she is. So every show she calls me like, you should have did this. So
Mom, I need a drop now.
I was recording and I'm like, Mom, I'm recording. And she was like, well, you should have talked to me earlier. So I just recorded what she was saying.
Shout out to mom. Yeah.
Shout out to mom.
Awesome.
Mom, I need a drop.
So I'm gonna stop sharing, guys. Whoever's up next, feel free to do so. But thank you.
Yo, Cheeky, you gotta take me off the wheel.
Super dope.
Okay, bro. I will take you off the wheel right now. Here we go. Delete and
sorry, I don't have
a track. All right, here we go.
I'm out of time.
No dummy spin.
No dummy spin.
Going straight into it.
Oh Lord.
Oh. You.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Lord.
Prove yourself.
All right. Well, see, Mark, this you don't know about me. I do a lot of things, but that's why I was attracted to your sounds. I'm a DJ, wannabe rapper. Used to do the wiggy from New York to LA. I make beats. I learned how to make beats on MPCs and all that. So a little wiki here and there never hurt nobody.
Wiki leaks.
So I got a little track here. You fellas, if y'all want to go ahead and mute up, we can see what we got going here. All right, here we go. Trying to walk you through my process. I'm gonna end it right there because that's basically it. I just basically gave you a remix treatment. You know what I mean? Try to throw a few different drum loops behind it. I tried my hand at being you with that. You know what I mean? That line of yours. But I gotta say, I've been experimenting with this isotope thing. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm falling in love with this little thing. Like,
yeah, what does that do?
Just the modulation. It's just like a little accordion sound, right? But if you see all of that little weirdness going on, those blocks and all of that, that's just screwing around with the frequency just to try to give it a little different tone or whatever.
Oh, I got you.
Just playing with the sounds, basically.
That's dope.
Nice.
So that's it, man. Just
nice.
Nice. Little flip. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
What did you put on? Did you put something on the bass? Like that, something in the bottom end felt nice, really nice and dirty to me. That I was curious what that was.
I
don't know if it was on,
filthy.
but it might have, or it might have been in a low frequency of a keyboard part or something. But something you put on something.
Yeah. I mean, maybe on the Rhodes or something. The bass looks kind of still. There's a little action going on that Rhodes.
Probably that combination of the bass is it's being driven, and then the Rhodes has its little
kind of like floating on top
going on. Yeah, man, nice.
Good stuff, Q.
Yeah, man.
I like it. It's dope.
You already know I love that house vibe, and I feel like those synths really took it kind of West Coast.
I mean, honestly, I just kind of mailed it in and was just kind of, finding a couple of the stems and just going through them. I could have given it the chop treatment, like, nah.
Let it ride.
How you did that. And I love how that bass was very, it made the track do what it does.
Yeah.
Like without the bass, I think the track would have been completely different. So I love that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, kid.
For yourself.
All right, here we go. Let me figure out how to use this again because I'm fumbling. Okay, gents, here we go. Let me just make sure my audio is right really quick. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, cool. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna play my track and then we'll talk about it really quick. I really had to hold back from not taking my guitar and just getting some smooth licks on top of that. But what I wanted to do was just create kind of like a groove that was a little bit, jolty, I guess. I don't know, like a little bit of and a little bit of funkiness. So really quick, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show what I did with these stems. So the first thing is I really love the Rhodes sound, and I really just took those chords that you hear coming through in the beginning of the track, and then just play them over kind of like with this groove where I'm anticipating the beats. And then I had to pull out the guitar and just play on top of it. So that was the whole groove. The rest of it was I chopped up your bass. So this is your bass, just kind of played out on the keys to add some low end to it. One thing that I really love about your stems was it sounds like maybe you weren't necessarily like drawing out, and this is a kind of a question for you too. Maybe you're not drawing and sequencing every drum pattern, but almost felt like you had like percussion loops that you were playing out on drum pads, maybe. I don't know, but that's what my ear heard. So then I tried my hand at that by making like a little bit of a percussion loop, and then I added in just the kick and some hi-hats, and you could hear like almost like this go-go vibe going on in the back, right? And then the last thing that I did was add a little bit of the piano just to give it a little bit of a flair in the background, and took your synth line and then I kind of made it's almost like a patty horn thing. I don't even know what I was doing, but that's where you hear like this whole thing coming. And when you look at that chopped, I took that stem and where is it? Where'd it go? There we go. So it was like kind of like I feel like it was like the end of your little line right there, and I just played it like an instrument. So yeah, that's my track. A little bit of a groove this week.
That's cool, man. I dig it. Awesome. It made me think of like something Diggables would have done.
Yes.
Until that kind of horn synth thing comes in, and then I love how that's so kind of what's the word, anachronistic, like it's out of place. And then once you get into the vibe of it, it's like, okay, this would be interesting. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was playing it on the keys. I'm like, this is too haunting, and then I'm like, wait, I kind of like it now. And then I just went back to the group.
Those juxtapositions, right? They're the sweet spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they had a nice little bounce to it, Cheeky. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
very
it.
Very hot, man.
All right,
so dug your cheeky bounce.
We know who's coming next. Grim, what do you got for us?
All right, mute up, fellas, and I'll share.
All my beats with the fellas tonight.
Here we go. I'm gonna stop right there. Too long. So I used the harm sieve triangle, the bubble piano, the string. I used the string in a different way. Let me see. I chopped everything up, but I think what I did, because I didn't have enough tracks to keep it there. I'm trying to think if it's gonna play out, but I used the residual sound and I got this. I reprinted it, and I believe I got this sound right here for it. From the strings, I just added reverb and a delay to it, so it wouldn't sound repetitive. It sounds repetitive, but it doesn't sound too choppy. Just let it hang out. The main sample, use the piano, the bubble piano, which is super dope. Shout out to you again, Mark. Like, stems is crazy.
You sound good.
So I'll play. What play is it going? Oh. Let's see. Thought it would play, but
Grim, that synth line, that little chop that you took from Mark is so nasty. I want to hear that like even louder, man. You need to bring that up.
Yeah, my bad. Some of these I printed out, so some of these tracks is mixed up. But which track you talking about?
That one, man.
This one? When you make that sound effect, bro.
Right there.
This right here, I play that solo.
Yeah.
I added a filter to that.
Bring that.
So what I did was, that's from this track. I printed it twice.
Okay.
So one track is printed just plain, and one track is printed with peel on it, and with the filter adding effect, and the what is it? The regular high pitch filter. I mean, high frequency filter.
Mm-hmm.
And this track has it just chopped up regular.
Yeah, it creates such a nice vibe, man. I want to hear that louder.
It's louder. It's louder, dude.
Louder.
Like that sample. Louder.
All right.
Like that drum chop too.
So I printed it. I didn't print it loud on purpose. So
yeah.
So it don't distort out.
Yeah.
But it ain't gonna get too much loud. This is Ableton. After a while, you pump it, it start popping. Snap, crackle, and pop. And so that's it. That's the main, chop up of the samples, the stems you game. Try to switch up a little different, but it's kind of hard sampling you do because the music is so fire.
I know.
So it's like, what am I gonna do with this already? Like, I just want to listen to it. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't even want to chop it up and play with it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to listen to it. So it's like, man, just trying to get an idea to turn over something got to sit. You know what I'm saying? So kept it basic, more hip hop.
You got a whole idea going on, man. That's killing.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, man.
Man, it's so good to hear everyone's interpretations and ideas, and just cool that the inspiration comes from that source. It's a nice way to share, and connect.
Absolutely.
But hey, what's up with Peas? What's up with Peas, Pete?
He's stuck on an island. He's stuck on an island with all these dangerous crickets in the background of the jungle. So.
Yeah, that's my beat. It's a cricket song. I sampled the crickets. No, I'm truly sorry. Unfortunately, I'm in Jamaica right now on my birthday.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, unfortunately for the show, you know, I wanted to still. Okay. Last time I was on vacation, I still made it.
This is true.
But this time, I just had too much fun.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
He's jumping off of waterfalls in a mansion in Jamaica. So
yeah, landing in a cave.
I love it.
Landing in a cave.
Just boo him this week. Boo.
So I have a question for Mark before you go, Cheeky. I have a question for Mark, and I wanted to know this earlier when I started working. Earlier this week when I started working, but then today I thought about it again. How often do you hear tracks that you're sampled on?
Not often enough.
Okay. I was wondering that. I'm like, you know what? I wonder if this is like a new thing for him or if this is like a regular thing for him.
It's funny because this specific track, full disclosure, do you know Metapop?
Yeah.
We did a thing with this on Metapop.
Oh, okay.
And I had to listen to 143 remixes.
Oh, wow.
And they ran the range like in everything, like stylistically, concepts, execution. Like there's a whole complete spectrum.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So I've been hearing, this specific track I've been hearing a lot of ways, but today was fresh. It was different from everything else. So
wow, that's crazy. How do you even go about, I guess, like judging the winner there? Do you?
I mean, it was, excuse me, it wasn't easy, but I mean, culling down to about 40, that was pretty easy.
Okay.
And then I just kind of repeated the cull process. I think I got down to 9. And then when it came to the top 5 or so, I had to declare a first, second, third. So the top 5 were kind of execution-wise, were pretty equivalent to each other. And so it did come down to what I liked the most, really. I mean, it was very subjective at the end of the day. And actually, the second place winner was actually a kid from New Zealand, and I've been DJing his remix out. Like,
wow,
it's almost like a little Catronata flip of the joint. It's kind of crazy.
Wow, that's sick.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And then the first place he did it in 7/4, and did a really accomplished kind of concept approach to it. So I kind of gave him the win based on concept.
Quality. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's cool, man.
And I know we have you for 3 minutes here. So that was my question. I are you, when I listen to those stems, I kind of heard like you're playing some loops maybe, or how do you envision some of the percussion that you added in 37,000 feet? Was that sequenced percussion? How did you put that together?
Yeah, so all of the rhythm parts were just jammed out on machine. It's the same way I do my live show. It's just kind of what comes out. And so, say the percussion parts, I'm just kind of reacting instinctively using percussion sounds, reacting to the drums and the groove as if I'm playing percussion. It's like it's how I hear it in my head thing. And then so it is looped up. It's running in a loop on machine. And then I like to run this plugin called Artillery. I use the kind of live kind of chopping like different rhythms in the beat, and so it's how I get the repetition and the rolls and the random.
That's what I was wondering about. Is the rolls built into?
So that's all done on the fly.
Wow.
And then actually, I did a workshop last year. It's called Breaking It Down on my YouTube channel, and I go through everything. If you want to check that out at all.
Oh, okay.
I
will.
And then also for heads who check you guys out on that with the Patreon every month, we do like a masterclass Zoom session, like here with all the gear and just breaking shit down and stuff like that. It's a really fun way to connect and build with people too.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say we probably need to, on top of supporting you on Patreon, we probably need to join some of your classes like the one you're about to go through right now.
Yeah, seriously.
Actually, I'm about to do a one-on-one with one of my Patreon members. Like she's been getting into Ableton, and she hit me on the Discord. She was like, "Man, how do I do this?" It's like, "Well, it'll be easy if we just do one-on-one." She's like, "Cool, book it, make it happen, and we're going to jump on it now." So
amazing.
Wow.
It's good to be able to help people, right?
I was going to say, Cheeky, real quick, do you have the link to the Patreon you can throw
up? Absolutely. It's patreon.com/MDCL. And maybe you can put that in the video description or something.
Okay.
Well, you can do it on the screen share right now.
Yeah, I'm falling behind. I can't even see my. How do I get Zoom out of the way? Okay, keep going. So what is it?
Yeah, I know Zoom got me earlier too.
Patreon.com/MDCL.
Okay.
But it's a lot of fun. Like we do music hangs on Zoom where everyone just picks a favorite joint and we'll listen to it all together, and just like get into, talking about the music together and like how we used to when we were younger, right? Listening to shit together and breaking it down.
Right.
That sounds like fun, man.
Amazing.
But it's a good community, and it's great to be able to have people supporting what I want to do, and being part of the exclusive content of it too in the community.
Amazing. So, Mark, then we have
one last question. One last question. Can we have you back on the show maybe like a month or so and do a part 2 and talk about all the other things we did not get to talk about tonight?
We can do a part 2 if I can give you another group of stems, and then but then Pete's got to do a beat. Pete's got to do 2 beats.
Yeah.
I like that. I deserve that.
He's like, I deserve that.
We'll take it.
I'll take it.
I'll accept for him.
Yes.
But yeah, hit me up. It's been really fun to chat with you. I wish I could stay on. I just have a prior commitment.
No worries. We can't thank you enough. This has been amazing, and all of the stories you shared and all the insight. It's been really amazing. Part 2, we want to learn more about NFTs too. And
Let's get in it.
If you don't know by now, check out Mark's music and check out his Patreon. Really amazing talent right here.
Yes.
And thank you all. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night.
Brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Wow.
Great interview.
Look at that, fellas, and we're on time.
What?
We don't do that.
Hey,
so listen, real quick. I have a statement to make. First of all, Patreon is dope. I like Patreon, and I like that people can charge what they want to charge and then provide what they want to provide. It's like, never mind.
Consumer sales.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like what's that thing that everybody was on? You got to pay to watch their videos and stuff. OnlyFans, but it's really only for fans. Like it's not for the other stuff.
I can't wait to cut this segment and promote this.
Yo, big shout out to OnlyFans. If y'all want to send us some money, we will shout you out every week. I will. Hey, listen, we could do 3 weeks later on OnlyFans. It's not just for that.
Is he trying to tell us something right now?
No, I'm saying that
is there a major announcement?
Platform.
He has one.
You can use their platform
Don't
for
worry,
any kind of stream. You know what? Forget it.
I know you're
if I see glitter, if I see glitter in your background.
Onlyfans.com/stemmery. Stemmery, we got you.
Oh man.
All right, so let's wrap it up and let's talk about our next guest. Q is going to let us know who that is, and we're going to say peace.
Yes. Next week we have my brother from another mother, the one and only DJ B.Original in the house. Make sure you guys check for him. We're going to throw up links for all of his projects, his website, Boom Bap Studio. B.Original. Benny Williams is a entrepreneur, music maker, and the man that will bring us some new music to flip on our show. We'll talk about some of his new projects, including working with KRS-One, working with, I want to say it's Ali from the St. Lunatics. I don't want to get that wrong, pardon me. I do my homework, but yeah, next week we got DJ B.Original in the house. Amazing. And actually, whoa. Yeah, never mind. I'm working on something. So tune in next week. Tune in next week. It might be interesting. It might look different next week. Just tune in. Maybe. Let me not.
That's not hint enough.
Let me not oversell that. So
Next He's gonna put the 3BL logo on the other side.
Right.
You won't even know what's gonna.
You won't even know the difference.
Won't even know the difference.
You won't even know. You won't even guess what I did. No. So Q, a quick question for you though. Is DJ B.Original providing stems on the show or before the show?
Before the show.
Okay. Cool.
Unless we want to switch up, because I know we have Grimm's next after that.
Yes, super caliente.
Yeah, man. And
yes, my guy, super It's going to be in, what's the date? What's that? The 16th? Yes, yep. The 16th. We're going to have him on, and we're going to have a nice challenge. You know, we're going to try to rock some joints out for him, you know what I'm saying? And display that magic that we do.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, please like, share, subscribe, tell your mama to watch. You know, my mama will be watching. She probably won't call me after this.
Mama.
Like,
and shout out to Mom. Yeah, she gonna be mad. That was his idea.
She already mad. Yeah.
Mom, where's my drop?
He will. Now you got to make music for everybody, man. So, but yeah, big shout out to everybody who checked in tonight. Big shout out to KB all the way from Japan, locking in with us. We appreciate you. And we will be having Mark back on. So stay tuned for the next episode and how we do that. So next week is gonna be big. The week after bigger, and week after that even bigger. So keep locked in. Stay tuned.
And shout out to Steve Keith, just because.
Big shout out to Steve Keith. Yes.
And don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment. See you next week.
All right, everybody. Peace out.
Peace.